I have a small issue.
I'm here because of a problem.
It's nothing that can be like professionally diagnosed or anything, but I happen to have too much of an appreciation of hearing middle and old guys complain about how
middle-aged?
there are people out there that have been slighted by capitalism. It's a very I enjoy hearing from those people like a little too much. I've been told anyway. So when oh yes, the Force. Yeah. This just happens to be one of my favorite things and one of my favorite people. So
it's not a request, it's a need.
Yeah. So in order to maintain a healthy life to where I don't become the one complaining about the victims of capitalism, we could stand to do this. And of course,
is it current events?
It counts.
Has it been out
current.
for 2 months?
Yeah. So
3 months?
We are of course here today to discuss the Dark Side of the Moon Redux by Roger Waters.
We talked about it several months ago.
A completely necessary thing that needed to be published.
And use it. I don't know when you first got it, but
it
of course did the briefest of crash courses. Today.
I first listened to the first 2 tracks that were issued, which I think were Time and Breathe. They were published as kind of like a teaser before the rest of the album came out. So I used those about a couple of months ago, and then the whole
album. It hadn't been out for that long.
Yeah. So.
And you got to go through the whole thing.
But.
And of course they talked about the different dramas.
Yes.
This is one of the most glorified dramas.
Yeah. If you're a fan
known to the universe, that's, I don't even know the nuances. But it's basically him wanting to redo Dark Side of the Moon
the way
as his project.
Yes.
In his way.
Yes.
To specifically have a non-David Gilmour.
Yep.
Dark Side of the Moon version.
This is part of the David Gilmour beef. Roger
not
Waters.
Just a nice recording of a live show.
Yeah.
And those.
Nope.
That he's, of course, done plenty of.
Where you don't have...
But a new...
Yes.
Or using whatever percentage of the original album one.
To where it doesn't count as just a small cover of the new album. Yeah. It's a total...
Cast in a new tone.
New tone.
With poetry.
New instrumentation. Some new lyrics.
With poetry.
And, yeah. And again, as I alluded to in the past, definitely needed this release for sure. For those that I guess skipped out on the Pink Floyd video, Pink Floyd happens to be my favorite all-time band. And Dark Side of the Moon happens to be my favorite album of all time.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
So
I didn't know it was actually your top.
Yeah, it has been number 1 for 20 some odd years.
Favorite one, good.
So
you can.
I needed this album.
Laugh it up.
Yeah, because the thing of it is the thing that I liked about Dark Side of the Moon is that everything is like just so balanced. And so well blended and so crafted, and everybody played their equal part and so on and so forth, to where I couldn't take any other form of album as seriously. So be like, well, we already have the perfect thing, so anything that tries to change that is just not gonna be. I'm not gonna take it as a serious effort. Oh. I'm glad I could approach this with that mindset.
More humor than being hurt?
More humor than being hurt, yes. Because, this album is freaking awesome. Well, heck, we can just start with how he starts the album. So, on the original, you'll hear the heartbeat and then some instrumentations and a lady screaming. You start this one by speaking with the raspy old guy voice, lyrics from a later album. It's the song Free 4 by Obscure.
Which is
from
kind of
Clef.
cool.
I mean,
as long as it vaguely fits thematically.
Yes, but see, what I was waiting for when I first heard this was for him to quote maybe something from this guy, like where he could be like, and Benny pointed at a hi-fi shop and said, "Hey man, look at all the stuff they got." In that raspy old,
regardless of
what the
subject matter,
what the context is, that's what I was waiting on.
He was. But you wanted him to briefly talk about it.
Yes, and mainly because it could be one kind of like a superficial way of relating this a targeted specific political thing to the key concept.
He should have just done a prequel of that.
Life, yeah, that would have been fantastic. But nah, and then you get the actual intro to the album with kind of soft, sing-songy poetry style reading of the lyrics. You get all the lyrics from Dark Side of the Moon, but mainly because he's the one that wrote all the lyrics originally. So he's not going to want to alter those out of existence, for sure. So,
yeah, he did the talking.
There's...
in the old man's almost whispering,
yeah,
kind of raspy
where you... yeah.
thing.
Where you gotta turn it up to even understand what's being said. So...
yes, that's going to be my big complaint.
yeah.
Was the problem of... gosh, this seems like it's...
I'll,
for the Pink Floyd fan that wants to...
maybe hear something...
light the candles...
yeah.
sit down and turn it up by quite a bit. Because that was the only way I could hear the vocals.
Yeah. I'll get to the finer details of the mix here in a second, because I got a lot to say about that, but...
City Dragon!
But, yeah, so... it is still a continuous album. If you...
they were slower than crap.
yeah.
Was everything slowed down a little bit? It sure felt like it.
A little bit, yeah. There's a little bit lesser of an energy. Where...
the small amount that I actually enjoy hearing was... all I could do was, gosh, this is too slow.
yeah.
Yo, I can't hear the vocals, man.
Can
you turn those up?
There was less note variation. Like, not only does he sing
with like acoustic guitar, where the guitar was...
yeah. Where, like, and with his singing, too.
Guitar parts.
But he is kind of an older person now, so he can't sing as high note as probably he once could.
Oh, yes, that made me wonder how his concerts...
yeah. I don't know how his concerts go. Like, whether he's recorded something in the past and then lip syncs, or whether he actually still sings. I don't know that for sure.
Those synthesizer things from
But,
the Barney Singers.
yeah. He butchered On the Run, the next song, after the first track.
That took freaking every bit of, like, it was like 8 minutes worth of...
yeah.
you couldn't even understand what he was talking about.
So...
unless you turn it way up. Is it a saga?
I vaguely remember, I think On the Run features, like, some memoirs or something.
It felt pretty darn personal.
Some spoken word.
It felt like the pontifications of...
yeah. Being slighted.
a man laying there and can't sleep in his internal monologue of his
yes.
bedtime gloom.
Yeah. But,
like he was working out a whole nother concept album.
maybe. Maybe he could have.
But yeah, I couldn't turn it up. I couldn't get every word because
yeah.
it's too loud.
Yeah, you didn't, yeah. If you turn it up more, you risk the bass blowing out your speakers or something. So...
and then you make your way.
yeah.
What the other one is? Great Gig in the Sky.
Yeah, you cross through the Time song, which, it's alright.
What's with the problem?
The literal...
frustrating.
I wasn't a big fan of the literal bell sound at the end of Time. I'm like, Raj, the lyrics are good enough to where you can paint the picture of
Yeah, he's kind of
a bell ringing in the background.
expecting / wanting you to be a little more
without having
into it than you are.
Yeah. Without having the bell ring literally in the background. So, but I thought that was funny. That was more funny than.
Would that he would have added all kinds of
Yeah.
straight up comic relief.
So
sketch segments or something.
Yeah. You get some nice notes. Like during the album you'll get him reading notes that people wrote him in the past about how.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Was that part of what it was?
Yeah, that's.
Oh wait, yes, there was something with Dear Mr. Waters.
Yeah.
And this thing went on, but I again couldn't get the.
Yeah. But yeah.
Basic gist of that was a real item.
Yeah.
That wasn't a written piece. That was
fairly certain
it was a real letter that he had received back in.
Because how can you make that up?
1983.
Yeah.
I didn't know the plot. Like I said, about all I heard was Dear Mr. Waters.
So, but yeah, let's talk about Great Gig in the Sky for a second. That, the now iconic, the Claire Torrey, the screaming lady from the original, what the hell was that replaced by?
I don't even remember.
I think it was Roger himself humming what Claire did back in the day.
On a flute?
But
literally humming?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I wasn't paying attention.
There was some special effects that were put on his humming too. It didn't sound like an organic like actual humming noise. It was like it had this weird thing going on where like it sounded like it was being run through a phaser.
Crazy effect on it. That's kind
of those. But also, you get strings. This is about where the big string patches start. You get a nice string passage,
which aren't all bad,
with your supposed to be screaming lady that captures your attention for 5 minutes. They duplicate what she did on Moog, I think,
for new age,
for your newer
percentage
synthesizers and keyboards. Rod still had the good forethought and creative direction to put kind of like an organ in there for whatever slight there was, maybe between Richard Wright and Raj. Maybe?
Nope. Oh, let everything out.
So
this finished what the heck it is.
But
man, go through.
Yeah. And then
put one for Nick, Sid.
Yeah.
Whoever that leader of T-Set before Sid.
Yeah. Just do one. Yeah. Do one without those guys. But yeah, and then you get to Money, which the fun thing is, I'll actually take this version of Money. This to me is the high point of the album.
What you were talking about?
Yeah.
Bitterness comes through.
Well, yeah.
Or the meta.
Not only do you get those elements, you also get the fact that Money is it's rooted in the blues. So when you have a down and dirty version
the song
of a song musically that is rooted in the blues, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna take that. When it's like stripped down.
Oh, in your stripped down acoustic guitar, country blues feel.
Yeah, and you get Roger Waters doing the bluesy, raspy singing.
Yes, I'll actually go along with you on that.
Kind of by force, but
let's go ahead and call that a nice update of.
That's
good version / choice for what to do.
Yeah, he also still keeps the odd time signature because this is the one song that's not in 4/4. It's got 7 beats instead of
the change.
Yeah, so he
was
kept
it
that.
Gone? Was I not paying attention again?
There were no sound effects.
They didn't have the "Are you being served"?
No.
Okay, again. That's just another lovable thing from the deal that you actually would want to keep.
Yeah, they were substituted with subdued sound effects, which goes along with the feel of the album, or there was none. I love that rotating sound effect of like just change being thrown into a pot or whatever. It's part of the classicness of the original.
That's what I mean.
So, yeah. And then you go on to Us and Them, which, more spoken wisdom stuff. If you didn't get the fact that it was about war, you definitely do now. Listening to Raj opine about various anti-war things that he already did in The Wall and whatever. So, but the overall tone, there's less keyboard. They actually replace a keyboard part with an acoustic. So he's playing the same melody that Richard Wright would have played on a piano, but he's playing it on an acoustic guitar. After that, you get your not normal, but your Any Color You Like. And,
yeah, what are the other tracks? You get a slow version of... You get a more new age-ish...
Yeah. A more...
old guy-ish, slow version of...
Yep. And Any Color You Like on the original album had no spoken dialogue, but that doesn't stop them from putting a poetry element in this song either. So, but if you didn't get the point of the title before, you definitely do now type thing. Because he's literally talking about the Henry Ford quote that the song title was based on. You can have any color you like, just as long as it's black type thing. So, but,
oh, is that what the prism was for?
Yep. That's exactly what the prism was for. Yeah. So, and then Brain Damage, a slower, less poignant, I guess you'd call it. Doesn't hit as hard as the original version, but all the lyrics and the message are there, just being sung in the Roger Waters sing-song poetry style.
Did they keep the laughing man?
He may have tried to recreate it in his now voice. I didn't pay that close attention.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So, and then the final song, Eclipse, basically has as much power as the original, but for the opposite, direction of the way the power's going type thing.
I remember at least being able to tell it was playing.
So, there you go.
As it wrapped up, it was like, oh, okay, at least I can recognize they're doing a version of Eclipse.
Yeah, it's Dark Side of the Moon. So,
it all seemed very... supposed to be extremely poignant.
Yeah.
Just with all kinds of deeply personal meaning for him.
Yeah.
But you couldn't quit thinking about just the band drama.
Yeah. And that's...
the leaving the group and the lawsuits and falling out with old Dave.
Yeah. And that's why it's kind of hard for me to, knock the album per se. Because if I oozed my soul and personality, the deep actual meanings of said thing, and then people were to just completely slam it.
You're all the more offended, sure.
Yeah, time and time again. So I can't exactly slam it, but I'm like...
It's unfortunate that I can't really go through it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you gave me a sheet of all the additional poetry and lyrics to read along with.
If the physical vinyl copy had all the notes and
give
stuff.
it a mix that's less like freaking City Dragon.
Yeah.
To where I don't have to turn it up.
Yeah.
And what you were talking about, have hopefully added in some kind of...
Yes.
Rock opera concept plot.
Yeah. That could either be in addition to, or replaced, because I think...
yeah, something cool that could be like your multi-level enjoyment of...
Because a lot of people will argue that the Dark Side of the Moon is a concept album, but the concept is the phases of life type thing. Phases and aspects of life. It's not a thread.
To keep my excitement, you would need another little saga of...
yeah.
Of,
just to clear that
young
up.
Benny living in Phoenix. Gets hit by a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, just to clear that up, to hit the naysayers, and to go back to the mix, the thing that makes them... I actually have like a small list of things to complain about with the mix. We all know Roger Waters is a bassist, okay? But the bass was too freaking loud.
We were bass heavy on. That is just it again. It's just hilarious. Basically Spinal Tap-ish. Just that he can say, "Ha ha! I'm mixing it this way with the bass." You know, cranked way the hell up.
And you hear that in my car sometime.
I believe it. Yeah. Listen to the bass.
Yeah, because it's like, whenever I play it in my car, it's like a new rap album. Like, you'll hear the side panels in my car go ballistic.
The Rattlers, yeah. That's hilarious.
So,
and it was the first item you just listed.
And I don't even have a sub. There is no subwoofer in my car. But yet the side panels are going insane.
Now, can everything else kind of fall under the umbrella of him selfishly mixing?
Maybe.
Or are there some other flaws in there?
Well, I can't
necessarily chalk up to him going, "All right, now I'm gonna do it."
See, that's the thing, is I can't remember if he was the one that mixed the album. I'll have to go back and fact check that. But
well, just whether or not it's bass heavy, and then what else was?
The lyrics need to be a bit louder, even the spoken words.
Oh, my problems.
Yes.
Yeah, mix it evenly, at least enough to where I don't have to crank the doggone.
Actually, I would have loved to have heard an electric guitar. That's gonna clinch at the spirit of this Redux.
The comparison of the original.
It doesn't even have to be a loud David Gilmour style electric guitar.
Which is what half the people are going to say anyway.
Just one. I just wanted one electric guitar passage. That's all I want.
I'm not that hard to please.
And I would also like a version... There are some songs on here that remind me of, like, Comfortably Numb, where it has that after... It's got the movie ambiance to it, with your mixing and your note structures and everything, that needs a little bit less representation, I think, if you ask me. Something to where I don't want to fill in, "Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there?" when I'm listening to the song. I don't want my brain to be like, "Oh, hey, this sounds like Comfortably Numb." But
it's a Roger Waters solo album.
Yes. I think that's how you can summarize this entire thing, and that's how he wants you to summarize the entire thing. It's a Roger Waters album with Dark Side of the Moon elements and mythos.
Is this our young gal with the backpack? No, it is not.
No, sadly not.
This is the chimp watching TV. There was a vinyl copy of that, you know.
Yes.
Or wait, you're not going to get it, are you?
No, I'm not going to get it. You can get it.
I found a copy of that just today.
Yeah. I think I know where you're talking about, too. You can get that one, for sure. I already have a copy. I think I'm fine. Yeah.
I'm, of course, not going to be stampeding to use it again and again.
I suppose maybe listen to it if you're a heavy Pink Floyd fan, you like the Pink Floyd stuff, and want something new? If you're tired of...
If you're just a huge Roger Waters...
Or if you're a huge Roger Waters fan, yeah. If you're tired of the On an Island from David Gilmour, that's the last, like, new Pink Floyd solo-related material. Well, no, that doesn't count, because there was, Is This the Future We Really Want by Roger Waters himself. That came out later. But yeah, generally, if you want something Pink Floyd related that's newer than 2017 or 18, give it a listen. Or if you want a different version of Dark Side of the Moon, I don't know why you'd want that, but if you want it, here you go. And what's with that album cover, too? this new album cover has the old album cover.
Was it the dog or the little kid?
I think it was the dog.
Which one was the real release?
There was the dog with the real release.
If you let me put it on 1.5 speed.
Oh, you need to. Just so it can be as long as the original release. I think this thing clocks in at like 55 minutes with all the spoken word passage and everything.
Oh, yes. If you let me put it on 1.5, if you give me the lyric sheet, and if you add in a plot involving a storyline with characters.
Yep. So, yeah. I'm not in a rush to replay this one either.
He did it. At least it's a completed project.
I'm glad it released.
And an album that was finished and released.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Get everything knocked out. I genuinely hope he included whatever appropriate rebuttal in the drama in there for them to just no longer have a care in the world.
Yeah, I would hope for a Roger Waters.
Producers, whatever label man pissed you off.
Yep.
What's that? Those crooked concert guys.
Yeah, the stagehands.
The promoters or whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever normally will.
Your old manager, maybe.
Make a rock star mad, aside from the other band members.
Yeah.
For the diss tracks.
And maybe your fans.
Him. The other guy. The previous bassist.
If you're pissed off at your fans, write us a damn album. Oh, wait, no, here he did.
Oh, in the fan mail?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can reread a couple angry fan letters.
Yeah.
Just the idea of hopefully being finished with it all.
Yeah.
Because that's part of what this whole... the very first thing was talking about
how
the legacy of when you were in your prime young man.
Yeah.
As an old man, this...
Yeah. So you can look...
It seemed like it was part of a larger theme.
Yeah.
With his old guy voice.
So we can continue on with our Roger Waters redux of Uma Guma, maybe. Our Roger Waters version of A Saucer Full of Secrets.
Oh, you mean not move on to new projects?
If we want to keep rehashing the bitterness.
That's the question. If he still wants to do the diss tracks, is he going to remake other?
Nah, but yeah, so
it's like to say it in a less dismayed way, if I was like forced to recommend it, I would say it's like the Dark Side of the Moon album, except with more of the feel of the Wish You Were Here song.
Yeah.
Correct?
That's pretty accurate.
There's the major sad tones in the emotions with the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And he hams up that old guy voice so bad it's like literally this man at the end of his life.
Yeah,
just barely whispering along.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually yeah.
The part where he actually did do some melody, even though you could barely hear it.
Yeah.
Was that not all of the vocals were these cockamamie spoken word and poetry things.
Yeah, but
I'm glad for him that it was made.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely
in the hopes for his emotional closure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That they can. Well, I'm not bucking for a reunion.
No.
In all the talk and requests and every interviewer guy asking him.
Yeah, we all know that's
not the point of this.
Yeah.
Just to resolve the bloody silly perennial.
Yes. Any form of conflict just needs to be
sci-fi action drama
put down. Yeah. So, yeah, we hope that achieves this and we can all just kind of move on.
Well, he can make another political thing.
He can.
Remember the Donald Trump tour?
Absolutely.
When they have the next thing that's not the virus,
he can
do a deal on it.
If we by God get another Trump term, he could put out an album called "Is This the Future We Really, Really Want?" We could have that. It's within our grasp.
I mean, whatever the appropriate topic of
the then
climate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, sir. So.
All right then.
Yep.
My work is not cut out for me.
Gotta travel on, never coming back.